here is where the life-changing event happened for me, where I started learning more about businesses in the UAE. I was handling about 1,000 companies at a time, different industries, and it gave me the knowledge of how businesses operate in the UAE. In the UAE, and it still does happen, most people go and just set up their business. But the challenge is having the right knowledge before setting up your company. For new entrepreneurs, there's something called a small business relief. If you make up to £600,000 annually, you could claim the small business relief and pay zero taxes on your entire income.
Hey friends, it's the Business Bishop, and I thought I would seize this opportunity to interview a young man who has inspired me. His story is nothing short of motivational, and given that I had this opportunity to interview him, I thought, let's do this and let's make this available to our audience. And I'm so sure that you'll be inspired by his insights and his journey and his expertise, that you're going to want to share it with your own family, friends, neighbors, and networks. So no particular name for this, right? This is not the BB podcast. This is just an opportunity, and I'm seizing it to interview my friend, my brother from another, this inspirational young man who goes by the name of Stallone Shaikh. Hey, Stallone, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you, Wayne?
I am really, really well, and I'm really happy about this opportunity. It's been a long time in the making. Like I've wanted to get you in a studio.
Well, I've been looking forward to it.
So thank you. I know you're a very busy man, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. I mentioned to the audience at the beginning that you've been an inspiration. And your story is quite motivational. So they're taking my word for it right now. And I want to move beyond that. So I'm going to kick off by asking you a little bit about yourself, perhaps your origins, like where did you come from? What was life like for you, the early stages of your life, and how you got to where you are now, which is in Dubai.
Oh, well, yes. So I grew up in India. I was born in Mumbai and brought up in Goa. Yes, growing up, I did go through hard times when, my father lost his job and we didn't have money to put food on our table, or we don't know how to pay our school fees or something like that. And then that is when around 17 is when I decided that I have to start working, and I started working in a call center in Mumbai, where I started up with debt consolidation.
Okay.
For US. Now, I was quite young and I didn't understand what I was selling, but yes, I knew how to sell, and I was able to get the people to get their debt consolidated with, the partners that we had. After that, I moved to work with American Express as a debt collector. Similar, but yes, different. And yeah,
thought I recognized you from somewhere.
Yes. And I did about 2 years from that, and I moved to JP Chase as a financial advisor.
Okay, so maybe it sounds like it was almost by accident or by intention you stumbled into financial services. It's was that your education? Did you have
I think it would be fate, and life had a plan for me. While I was growing up, my father was on the ship and I wanted to be a captain. And I was studying science, but I was not so good at math at that time.
Yeah.
It's a trigonometry and all these physics. So I did not clear my science education, which was the 10+2. And I had to start working anyways to start supporting my family.
Yeah.
And even without completing my education, I started working. And then because I had a dream of joining JP Chase, I had to complete my, highest secondary education.
Yeah.
And that's when I said commerce is relatively easy compared to science. And I did my higher secondary in commerce.
Right.
And that gave the basics for me of what led on to in future. However, once I joined JP Chase, that is where I learned more about financial education, how to structure your finances, and so on.
You know what I think is fascinating already about your story, and we haven't even come to the really big pieces, right? Is that you came into financial services through sales.
Yes.
Now, it's like there's a lot of people that I guess study and get their degrees to be part of a financial services company, but they don't necessarily have that entrepreneurial edge or advantage. And so pretty much stay in the job for the rest of their life because that's what they do. But it's interesting now, you know, I keep seeing new things in your story. It's interesting to see that actually you came into financial services really as a sales rep,
Yes.
selling a financial service. And I guess that must have had a bearing on who you would become eventually.
Yes. Now that I am talking about it, I am thinking the same because, where I wanted to be a captain and I ended up being in sales and in financial services. After JP Morgan, then I moved to Dubai and I joined Mashreq Bank. And again, I was doing or selling easy cash and balance transfers over the phone just as a telesales agent. It did well for me. I was doing really well there, and I got promoted into a voice relationship manager. Now, here is where the life changing event happened for me, where I started learning more about businesses in the UAE. And I was handling about 1,000 companies at a time, different industries. And it gave me the knowledge of how businesses operate in the UAE. And mostly all of these are people from the rest of the world. It's not mostly local people, as UAE is an expat country.
Yeah, yeah.
So you get to learn about different industries, different countries, working with different people, different nationalities, and that's what the foundation of me learning how businesses operate, what are the requirements for a business. Let's say you need trade services, you need financing, foreign exchange services, investments, and that's where I started learning more about how to operate a business.
And what an education that is. Like, it's not something a university could give you, I guess.
Yes.
I think being in Dubai, it being an expat population, people from all over the world, all different business types. I'm not sure there's anywhere else in the world you could get that sort of experience. Like for your 1,000 clients, they must have been so diverse, and it must have been such an education. So yeah, it's all making sense to me, because we're getting to like how you've managed to do what you've done so far. But I'm seeing the story, and I think our guests are seeing the story as it emerges. So from there, so you're in Mashreq, and you've gotten this profound education.
Yes.
And an idea, something. What happened?
In the UAE, and it still does happen, most people go and just set up their business, right? Setting up a company in the UAE is quite simple, it's easy, and there are thousands of people that can help you do it. But the challenge is having the right knowledge before setting up your company. So what happened to me, because after a voice relationship manager, I was promoted to a relationship manager, to handling medium to corporate enterprises. And one of the client approached me for a bank account for his company. And he had a holding company, and he wanted to trade for his businesses around the world. Now, as a holding company, you're only allowed to own businesses, but not trade on behalf of them.
Yeah.
And that's where he went wrong, because he just went to an agent who started his company for cheap and didn't give him the right guidance that he actually needed a trading company to trade on behalf of his other entities in the world.
Yeah.
And when he came to me, I explained him just that you can't have a bank account. The compliance is going to reject it if they understand your KYC and your nature of business compared to the activity that you have chosen.
Yeah.
Now, it was heartbreaking for the client, because he had spent a lot of money in establishing the company in the first place, and he had to spend twice more to change the activity, stay in the country, do the memorandums and everything, and get the right documentation to set up his business or his bank account. So he did that. He came back to me, and I was able to then establish his bank account. And that's where I thought that this can be an opportunity, and this can help save a lot of people the costly mistakes that they do.
So that was the gap you saw in the market.
Yes.
You realized that I guess a lot of people attracted by various things in Dubai were just coming over and getting the wrong advice, and ended up in a pool of tears and having to start all over again.
Absolutely.
And you saw that gap.
Exactly. And around this time, where a friend of mine, and he's a lawyer from Slovakia, Martin, he had some of his clients who wanted to establish their business in the UAE. And I've had this burning desire of doing something to help these people. And, that's when I thought that we could put two things together and, help these clients. Even they had a very peculiar situation. For example, they wanted to do stocks trading business, and in order to do stocks trading you need to have a particular license which is called the proprietary trading.
Right.
Now proprietary trading is an expensive license, number one, to get, and in order to get a bank account for proprietary trading you need to be able to show that you have experience in the same line of business where you've been trading for yourself, and you have sufficient funds to even trade.
Right.
And they did not have any of them. They were just for friends getting together and trying to start something new because they had an idea. And one of them was an economics professor, and he knew how to trade.
Yeah.
But if you tell the bank that this is what they're planning to do, they would never get a bank account. And first, they would spend a lot more money in establishing it.
Yeah.
Now, when I looked at their background, I see that they have mostly trading experience back home in their country, where they were trading plastic products, cleaning equipments, and so on. And I established them a business which was to do with plastic trading and cleaning equipments. Now, they were able to do two things. One, they were able to use their entity to do the plastic trading and everything else and help save taxes on that. And at the same time, they were able to open a stock trading account with the same bank.
Wow.
And they were able to do two businesses.
So this is when you started to realize, look, there's a gap here.
Exactly.
There's a need, and you could fill it.
Absolutely. And that's where Alliance Street started.
Right. So, Alliance Street, amazing company. I've had some experience with your company. I'll probably talk about that a bit later on. Certainly plugging the gap, because I think, when I started coming to Dubai and wanted to set up a business here, there were just so many people saying, oh, yeah, we can do it. Things do it. I'll meet this agent, meet that agent. And they just wanted me to sign on the dotted line, part with money, didn't want to explain anything, didn't want to understand the nuances of my business, what I was trying to do, how I was trying to operate. But I just found you guys were very different. You were like, okay, tell me about yourself. and based on that, so Alliance Street start. How long has Alliance Street been going?
We've been in business for 4 years now.
4 years.
Yes.
Okay, so what's happened in 4 years?
Oh, a lot. It was initially just my wife and me,
Yeah.
where I would sell the company. She would incorporate the companies, as she already had prior experience in similar industry. But we've grown tremendously, I would say. Today we are a team of almost 20 people. And it's hardly 4 years since we are in business together.
amazing.
We have expanded into multiple different domains. We now not only do company formations or bank accounts, but we're also doing accounting, tax advisory. We're also helping people grow their business by providing different financing solutions, trade and working capital, business loans, and many other products. We've also ventured out into a cargo business where we do a lot of exports to the US, Europe, out of UAE, and imports too. So yes, the business has grown tremendously over the last 3-4 years. Yes.
4 years. That's actually remarkable. And of course, I've been to the offices and I've met the team. It's an amazing culture, and I'm probably going to say it's reflective of your own attitudes. You know, you're very much into personal development, self-development, motivation. You're always reading a book or listening to an audio book.
Yes.
Tell us about how important is it to you to stay fit and mentally focused?
Well, I think it is because of the consistent learning and trying to keep yourself fit. That's exactly why I've been able to endure the pressures of growing a business. It's not easy for anybody to grow a business, especially when you're starting out in a very competitive market already. There are 3,000 plus agents who will tell you that they can start your company, but and you need to be very strong in order to get there and have the knowledge to even do the right thing. And this is why I listen to audiobooks every single morning when I'm working out, so that I can learn new ideas, get new information, or implement new things in the business. And this is one of the major reasons why we've been able to scale so much within the last 3 to 4 years, from just a 1-2 person company into 20. And yes, the turnovers have grown tremendously as well. And I would attribute all of this success to the continuous learning and keeping yourself fit, because it's important for yourself to be in the right place, the right frame of mind, to implement the right things for your business.
Wow. So, question: do you ever feel like pinching yourself and like, is this really happening? Am I dreaming? When you consider, how you were raised, some of the poverty and the hardship that you had to deal with as a child, and here you are now with a company 4 years in, turning over millions and millions, 20 staff. Do you ever think, is this really happening? How do you feel?
It is emotional.
Yeah.
It is very emotional, because I remember the times that I grew up weren't so great. I mean, as I said earlier, it wasn't. I have no words to even describe it.
I hear you. I hear you. And
Yes, it is a dream, a complete dream, the life that it has become today. A complete different lifestyle. So yes,
Yeah.
it is very emotional for me.
I introduced you as someone that has inspired me and that I find quite motivational. And it's because I know the backstory, right? So because I've read your book, and we'll probably talk about your book in a few moments. But I'm not really inspired by people who, let's say, inherited a head start and major advantages that then go on to build something on that. I would think the least you could do is build something on it. But when someone inherited like every conceivable social and economic disadvantage and then went on to say, I'm living that multimillionaire lifestyle, I ain't going to say much, but, we've been out in your cars. We've become very, very close friends. And just to know that 4 years ago, you were just an account manager
Yes.
in a bank, a good bank, but
Yes.
just a client manager.
Yeah.
You saw a gap. You had faith, the courage to step out on your convictions, with your wife, who I know also, and just her faith, her courage, and your partnership is just remarkable to watch. But you stepped out on that, and 4 years later, you are living an amazing dream. And I sense it's just the beginning. Am I right? Like you've got even bigger goals, right?
Yes, I do. And it is more about helping more people, because the more you grow, we are able to cater to more people, help them grow into the country, because a lot of people are leaving the high tax paying jurisdictions and moving to the UAE. Now, that would be my goal, is to help as many people as we can into avoiding those costly mistakes while starting up their business in the UAE.
Yeah.
And yes, at the same time, we help them grow and we grow together. So it's a
Yeah.
win-win situation for the both.
Now that kind of brings me to something that's quite emotional for me, right? So I love the UK, right? The UK is my country. I love it. I know it like the back of my hand. I remember better days. At the moment, I think the general consensus is that the UK is going down the wrong road, right? I guess we were hit. I guess the economy was hit with several really big events, right? So Brexit and then the pandemic. These and before that, you know, the credit crunch. There are so many big economic happenings, right? But of course, government is entrusted with the purse, and they're supposed to make decisions that in the long run work out for our benefit.
Yeah.
The general feeling is that a lot of wrong decisions are being made, and the UK is going down, spiraling down and out of control. Not only because of the kind of record tax burden, like the tax burden in the UK is at an all-time high, and at the same time there's like a depression. There's oppression because antisocial behavior, crime is rising. There's a lot of unrest and discontent, and it's become a bit of a hostile environment for dreamers, for entrepreneurs, for people that want to take the kind of risks that you've taken, right?
Yes.
And so even though we're reading the motivational books, like the environment and the climate is just making it so suffocating. And what that's led to now is record numbers of entrepreneurs, young money, millionaires leaving the UK in droves,
Yes.
like thousands and thousands. And a lot of them are heading to Dubai. Right?
Yes.
They're heading to Dubai, and some are going to Singapore and other places, but a lot of them are heading to Dubai. I think it was estimated about 10,000 left last year. They're looking at about 16,000 this year, and then over as many as 500,000 may leave. And that's emotional for me because the knock-on effect that's going to have to the British economy in terms of jobs, in terms of morale, in terms of things getting worse. So that's a bit emotional. I want to ask you, why do you think it is that so many are heading for Dubai?
Well, there's plenty of reasons. Of course, as you touched upon, the tax increases in the country, and it's not just one way. For most of the entrepreneurs, there have been a lot of changes recently in the last 1-2 years, I would say. Like the national insurance has increased from 9 to 15%. The inheritance taxes for businesses and farmlands have been removed, which will be removed in 26. The tax rates have been increased, and the inflation is also increasing. So overall, this is reducing the spending power of the business owners. So they're making probably the same amount of money because the wages are not increasing that much, and the inflation is rising, and the tax brackets are almost the same, which means the spending power of an individual or a business is going further down. And with this, you can't grow your business or do many things, or even, I would say, live a better life. And this is why people are looking for opportunities and areas where they can just live a better life. I mean, there is a saying in the Nomad Capitalist which says, go where you're treated best.
Wow.
So it's simple as that. People are going where they're treated best, and UAE has a lot of contributing factors to it, like zero personal income tax, zero capital gains tax, zero dividend taxes.
Okay, hold on. You're going to need to say it again. Did you say zero personal income tax?
Absolutely, yes. Zero personal income tax, which means someone who's earning 50 to 60,000 pounds in the UK just doubles their income because they're already paying 40%, 45% in taxes.
Yeah.
So yes, they literally double their income by just moving where they live. And that is the biggest hack, and it's quite simple.
So there's no personal income tax.
Absolutely, no personal income tax.
So let's suppose you set up a company in the UAE and
Yes.
you moved to the UAE. You set up a company in the UAE and you became an employee of your own company, right?
Yes. And you don't pay
You wouldn't
taxes
pay income tax
on your
on your
personal
personal income.
Absolutely.
And I'm guessing it would constitute a business expense.
Yes, it is tax deductible
it's-
of your company's expense.
So, okay, it's beginning to make some more sense. So what other tax benefits or advantages are there to operating in the UAE?
For new entrepreneurs, there's something called a small business relief, where if you make up to £600,000 annually, or equivalent to 3 million dirhams annually for 25 and 26, you could claim the small business relief and pay zero taxes on your entire income.
Zero corporation tax.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, I know this is going to sound shocking to some people, certainly in the UK, because everything is about taxation, right? So you're saying that up to 600,000 turnover, you can claim for small business relief.
Yes.
Pay zero corporation tax.
Absolutely.
Pay zero income tax.
Yes.
Which means that you get to keep or
Everything.
invest all the money that you made
Absolutely.
up to 600,000
Pounds, yes. Oh, the list goes on.
It really does go on. So I think one of the other things that's driving a lot of entrepreneurs out of the UK is red tape regulation.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes you have a good idea, but you've got to go through so much red tape and regulation. You lose time in the process, and sometimes you can't even get your value to market because of the red tape and regulation. And the UK is increasingly perceived as not friendly towards entrepreneurs or risk and things of that nature. How welcoming is Dubai for entrepreneurs? I mean, do you get any complaints like that from your clients?
Well, absolutely not. I've never heard of any challenges in the last 4 years that we have established hundreds of companies, that we've had any problems in setting up their business, or they've had any challenges in operating their businesses. Everything that we do in the UAE or in Dubai, for example, is online. You could establish your company online. You could get the approvals online. We do handle some of the electronic traders, and the TDRA approval, which is required to even establish your company, is done absolutely online. And it is done within a matter of minutes or days, not weeks and months, which could happen sometimes in the Western countries. So it is a favorable environment for new businesses in the UAE. It's easy to start. You can literally get your license issued in an hour with some free zones.
What?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So I think that there are some myths, right, that people have, and certainly since I've been coming, I've realized, oh my gosh, these were all myths, right? So I think there are myths surrounding, laws and how strictly certain laws are enforced. And then when I looked at which laws were strictly enforced, I was glad. I was like, oh, I'm so glad that these particular laws are strictly enforced. Because what's going wrong in the UK is that no laws are enforced, or they're enforced selectively, to where the antisocial behavior is just completely and utterly out of control. Like, you simply cannot, have your mobile phone in your hand in the West End, for too long. Because there's these little gangs, these little guys who are just going to snatch it out. No one gets arrested. No one gets. I mean, it's the crime and antisocial behavior. Whenever I've come to Dubai, I do something that I just cannot fathom doing in the UK. You know what it is? I leave my phone on the table and go to the restroom in the restaurant.
Yes.
Just
Of course.
If I've ever left anything anywhere, I go back and that's where it is.
Exactly.
There seems to be no crime, and antisocial behavior is very strictly punished out here. So no one's swearing at you, no one's shouting at you. No, there's not. If there's a dispute, you're going to settle it civilly.
Yes.
And it's just a very low crime, no crime as far as I've been able to see, but not the kind of violent crime and anti. It's how do people describe their experience to you? Like when they come, is it the same as mine? Like it's just very peaceful,
Oh, yes.
organized, orderly. The strict laws need to be strict in those particular areas. Outside of that, it's you're free to live your life.
Absolutely. And this is exactly what I hear from most of my clients. In fact, a client of mine sent his daughter to learn what we do and how we do it. She lives in Monaco, and she was surprised to see that she felt more safe in Dubai walking down Business Bay in the middle of the night than anywhere else.
I've heard that. I've heard a number of ladies tell me that they go for their walk at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Down the river, down the bay, to wherever, because they feel completely safe.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure there's anywhere else in the world like that.
I've not heard of any place like that.
Okay, all right. So I think you've explained why there is such a migration towards Dubai. Does Dubai really have capacity though? Like, can it take more people? Like, is it at the beginning of this? Are we at the end of the life cycle? I mean,
Oh, we're just beginning. Actually, there is a Dubai 2033 vision and a Dubai 2040 vision. The country, or Sheikh Mohammed Rashid Al Maktoum, is planning to double the population by 2040.
what? Double
Yes.
by 2040.
Yes. So there is plenty of room for improvement, growth, businesses to grow in this country. And I would say we're still just at the beginning right now.
So that's why all this construction is like almost anywhere that I go, there's
Yeah.
constructions.
Yes. There are almost 200,000 expats coming into the UAE every single year. And there is hardly 33,000 apartments that are delivered. So there's still a shortage of place for people to live. It's like 1:3 people in an apartment. That's how it is right now. So there's still a lot more room for improvement. And even though there is so much of construction, there are so many people more that are coming in that there will always be demand for real estate.
Well, yeah, I think that was important to hear, because I think one of the myths is that, well, it's a bubble, it's going to burst. It's just it's not sustainable. Something's it'll be a crash. But it's expanding. It's just really expanding, and I guess preparing itself to take in a lot more people. One of the other things that people say, right, is that we're in a part of the world that's troubled.
Yeah.
Okay, and certainly over the last few months and few years, that trouble has occupied the headlines. There's
Yes.
been wars surrounding this area, and I guess there are questions about how safe is your money here, how stable is the banking system. And I just read something the other day that it's actually now number one, like it's like the world's number one sort of most secure, safest banking system, something like that. But does Dubai ever get touched by those regional issues? Do you ever feel, oh, we're in the middle of a war here, there's a war over that there and a war over there? How's it feel here?
Well, considering that it's always so close within the region, you could easily get concerned with those wars going on or challenges going on around. But historically, what I have personally noticed is something going wrong in some part of the world, this country grows even more. For example, there is still a war going on between Russia and Ukraine, and most of the people from Ukraine and Russia, the wealthy, moved to Dubai.
Wow.
Yes, and now, as of this year, they are still 9% of the total people who buy real estate in the UAE.
Wow.
So, and the war between Israel and other countries that were, people who have the money, they're moving to Dubai because Dubai is a neutral country. It does not get involved in any other, problems or wars, or does not lend any support to anybody, and it's completely neutral. And in this way, it's much more secured. I would say it's even as good as Switzerland. It's completely neutral and doesn't want to involve itself with any, one side of the faction.
That is quite remarkable. I think that it's it's quite clear that there are a lot of benefits for people relocating to Dubai.
Yeah.
But back to my concerns about my country. A lot of my fellow countrymen do not want to leave the UK, have no intention of ever leaving the UK. They've got roots, they've got family, they've got too many other interests besides money
Yeah.
invested in the UK.
Yes.
Are there any ways in which they could maybe set up a business in the UAE and in some way benefit, right? So in other words, does a person really have to leave the UK and live in the... Now, obviously, the maximum benefits are going to come from a person who literally relocates.
Lives here, yes.
But I guess there are a lot of people who don't really live here, but they have a business here.
Yes.
Is that something that you do, that you come across?
It does, but you need to be very careful when you do this, because with the HMRC, there are certain rules that you need to comply with in order to be having a legal entity here and not be paying taxes in the UK.
Right.
For example, you need to comply with the control and management rule of the HMRC, where the brain and the mind of your business is in the UAE, which means if there are any major decisions taken, they have to be done within the UAE.
Yeah.
You need to have a substance in the UAE by having a regular office, probably employees in the UAE. Other than that, if in case you're trading with your own business in UK, for example, you need to also keep account of transfer pricing, proper documentation for those. And if you are doing everything right, then yes, you can benefit from the tax structure of the UAE and the double tax treaty between the UAE and the UK.
So this really comes back to what I think is the main difference with Alliance Street, is
Yes.
that you guys really do understand this particular world. And there are just lots of agents out here ready to sell you a trading license.
Oh, yes.
that literally just get you into even more hot water.
Yes.
So a lot of people, I think, are thinking, okay, I'm just going to set up a business in the UAE and just kind of run the revenue through that business, and then that will somehow get you out of the UK tax code. And but it's
Absolutely
all
not.
completely wrong, right?
Absolutely not.
So
Some of them-
tell us about some of the bad advice that people get.
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, first of all, most agents here are just selling you a license, because the more licenses they sell, the more commission that they get. Simple as that. They don't care where you establish your license, why you establishing a license, and what is your actual nature of business. Two, there are some misconceptions around the residency. For example, you getting a UAE residency does not mean that you're a tax resident of this country. So I have had one of my clients tell me that he was advised by another agent that you just set up your company, get your residency, and come once every 6 months, and you pay no taxes in the UK. But that's completely wrong. In order to be a tax resident of the UAE, you need to spend 180 days, or with certain conditions, 90 days in the UAE, and be a tax resident of the UAE. And you need to make sure that you're out of the UK for 183 days. Only then you are a tax resident of another country and out of, not paying taxes in the UK.
Wow. And, I think this comes back to something you taught me, which was about the 3 A's, which was attitude, advice, and agent, right? That actually, if Dubai is going to work for you,
Yes,
you need to come here with the right attitude.
absolutely.
Right? And number 2, you need the right advice. And number 3, you need the right agent, right? Because if you come with the wrong attitude, it doesn't work for you.
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
And if you get the wrong advice, like you're going to make a lot of costly mistakes, and it's really going to hurt after a while. And then if you get the wrong agent, that's the agent that just want to sell you a license and doesn't really want to understand your business or explain to you how it all works.
Yes.
So that's kind of, I think, where you specialize. Like, it's not just we're going to sell you a license, we're going to give you an education, and we're going to make sure that whatever solution we give to you is the solution that works for you. Now you've gone as far as actually writing all this in a book.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm sure, I think whenever I put this out, I'm going to put a picture of the book up on the screen.
For sure.
But tell us about your book, Dubai Dreams and Tax-Free Schemes.
Well, thank you for talking about it. What I've tried to do, and again, thank you for inspiring me to write this book. It was more about putting my entire life journey, my banking experience, my experience of this country, the tax laws, and the banking secrets that most people struggle to do once they have established your company, and everything else beyond after establishing your company is what are the right regulations that you need to have, what are the tax regulations that you need to comply with, how you can take advantage of the double tax treaties between the Western world and the UAE, wherever the tax treaties are. I think there are about 130 countries where the UAE have signed up with for the tax treaties. Along with that, it also has the investment ideas that are in the UAE, and it's not about just real estate. There are multiple other investment opportunities that you could have in the UAE. So I've tried to put basically my entire life experience, my journey as well, to motivate people who are looking to move to the UAE or are tired of their home country tax situation right now.
Yeah, I think that's really remarkable and commendable that you've put all the knowledge into a book.
Yes.
Which kind of is the evidence that what you really want is for people to make the right decision and the right
Absolutely.
choice.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Rather than just make a choice, sign up here, just like make the right choice, make an informed decision.
Yes.
And it's a thick book, it's a big read, but it's a fascinating read. Like you if you're an entrepreneur, like
Yes.
you can hardly put it down. So well done on that book.
Thank you.
So, like succinctly, okay, someone says, I want to start a business in the UAE. What are the steps? What's the first thing that they would actually need to do?
First, they would need to establish a business in the UAE by setting up a company. That they would need to know what is the long-term plan as to what they want to do with this business. Are they planning to just have a small presence here? They want to grow in the mainland or target other countries? So they need to decide the right jurisdiction to establish their company. Like, for example, if you are a trader and you are buying goods from China and selling into UK or any European countries, you could benefit from the designated zone rule for a qualifying free zone person, where you could qualify for 0% tax on your business outside of UAE if you are established in a designated zone. And if you qualify or you comply with the regulations like having an employee, having substance, and having work conducted within the designated zone, your entire trading business can be 0% taxation.
So that's the kind of advice that you give. So basically, that's like, if I have the right attitude,
Yes.
and we meet you, we get the right advice, right? And to kind of set up in the right place.
Yes.
I'm guessing you need a residence.
Yes. So first is the company choosing the right place for setting up your business. Next thing would be your residency visa. Your company setup could take you about 5 to 7 working days or 10 to 15 working days with some jurisdiction, and even an hour with Medan, for example. The next is your residency visa, which takes about 5 to 7 working days or up to 2 weeks, depending on how fast you want it done. Other than that, the next step after your residency visa is establishing your bank account.
Yeah.
This is where people spend most of the time in establishing their bank accounts, as you need to present your bank account the right way and the application the right way for you to get approved instantly or fast. Once your bank account is approved, you're completely done. You can operate your business within the UAE and you're ready to go.
All right. And then I'm guessing after that, you want a good maybe tax advice strategist, bookkeeping service to just keep everything in order
Yes.
for you. But you don't have to live here. You don't have to move here. But if you get the right advice, there would still be significant benefits
Absolutely.
to running your business from the UAE.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Well, I just think that's amazing. So it definitely explains why tens of thousands are leaving and setting themselves up over here. But I think there's another side to this as well. I think with all this growth, right? So with the Vision 2040 to double the size of the population, which I think is around about 4 million at the moment. So
Yeah,
maybe
about 3.7.
Yeah.
So we're looking
So
at,
you're looking at
5.76 million.
You're looking at just a lot of new people.
Absolutely.
Right? So I'm guessing that there's a lot of investment migration that's taking place.
Yes.
Right, in Dubai. I feel like because I was reading a report that people cashing in their pensions and investing in Dubai. People
Yes.
are selling their company in the UK and investing in Dubai. Like we've even had billionaires leaving the UK and resettling in Dubai, investing in Dubai. Tell me a bit, from your experience, because you do handle investments as well, right? So
Yes.
your company manages some investments, particularly in the real estate,
Yeah.
as well as some other things, right? What does it look like as an investor? Like, is there real opportunity here in Dubai?
Absolutely, yes. And as we mentioned earlier, the country is growing and there is scarcity of real estate that will happen. And with that, the real estate prices are going up. For example, for one of my clients, I helped buy a property in 2022 in Dubai Marina. Now, this was bought at 4.2 million dirhams. So I would say it was around 800,000 pounds. And he had a down payment of approximately 900,000 dirhams. So that was about 150,000
Yeah.
pounds,
Yeah.
right? As soon as he bought this was we got him a mortgage to get this property,
Yeah.
and within the first year, I helped him manage this property on Airbnb.
Yeah.
Now, every single month for 12 months, we made a rental income of 50,000 dirhams, approximately 10,000 pounds a month,
A month?
for his property. Absolutely.
Wow.
So you can imagine within 1 year, he already recovered 80% of his down payment. And 2 years later, we revalued his property. It was revalued at 6.2 million.
Whoa. In 2 years.
Exactly. So you can imagine he has had 150% return over 2 years
Plus
by
all of his-
investing, and that too, getting the cash flow, and everything is tax free.
I don't know what to do. You know what I'm going to say? I tell you what I'm going to say. Stallone, I think you should come to the UK. Yeah, I think you should come to the UK. I think we should get a little crowd together, and you should talk to some entrepreneurs and investors. Just because, like I say, I'm concerned. I don't want friends and family and some of the great thinkers to lose. Right? I want them to be safe, protect themselves, protect their business and their brand, and we're having to think outside the box now. We just have to think outside the box, because what's happening in the UK is tragic, and it doesn't seem like there's anything going to change significantly soon. So people need to protect themselves and their assets, and we need to hear from more people bringing different global perspectives to the issue. So I've got a feeling that you're going to get an invite to come out to the UK and talk. Would you do it if we said, come on out? Would you come and talk to a group of entrepreneurs and investors?
Sure, I'd love to do that. I'd like to help as many people as I can with the knowledge that we have.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be. You see, a lot of people are coming over and doing salesy stuff, right? They're just kind of selling opportunities, but just from what I know of you, you're not that guy. You would come over and just educate and answer questions and help people to see you know, what the realities are. Like, it's not all that glitters is not gold. Like, you could do it wrong and it burn you.
Absolutely,
But there's a
yes.
right way to do it, and
Yes.
if you really want to do it this right way. So, well, look out! Look at what's your emails, bro. I might just have to invite you out to come and talk to us. It's been a pleasure talking with you, Stallone. Always is. Hey, family! It's the Business Bishop, and I'm inviting you to join me for a very, very special and important event. It's taking place on October the 3rd at the Crown Plaza Hotel. So it's live and in person from 7:30 till 9:30 p.m. The subject, the UK in crisis. I want to address why it is that so many entrepreneurs and investors are leaving the UK in droves. I've invited a special guest to come along and help us with some actual factual, practical information, but I want to have a conversation with you. I want us to talk about this issue. At the moment, it doesn't look like things are getting better, so we need a plan. You need a plan, and I want you to join me for that very special meeting, October the 3rd, the UK in crisis, October the 3rd, at the Crown Plaza Hotel in London Docklands, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Make it a date, don't be late. Click the link in this description so that you can register your interest, because it's by registration only. Seats are limited, and we only want serious people. So if you're not an entrepreneur, this meeting is not for you. If you're not an investor, this meeting is not for you. But if you are an entrepreneur, you're concerned about the direction the UK is moving in at the moment. If you're an investor, you're concerned about the direction UK is moving in at the moment. Let's have an open, honest, frank conversation about it. I want to see you there. Don't just meet me there, beat me there. Hey, family, it's the Business Bishop, and I want to ask you a question. If you are an entrepreneur or an investor, how do you feel about the direction the UK is moving in at the moment? At the moment, the tax burden has never been higher, like we're at a historic high when it comes to the tax burden, particularly upon entrepreneurs and investors. I think when you consider the rise in antisocial behavior, the general sense of unrest, crime, and legislation, red tape, all of that, it's making the UK a difficult environment in which to prosper. So, if you're concerned about that, I'm holding a very special meeting. It's called the UK in Crisis. I'll be holding that meeting at the Crown Plaza Hotel on October the 3rd between 7:30 and 9:30 p.m. Now, spaces are limited, so I want you to register for the event. It's entirely free. We're just going to have an open, honest, frank, and in some cases brutal conversation about our own futures, about some options, about having a plan in place. So, if you are an entrepreneur, I'm speaking to you. If you are an investor, I'm speaking to you. If you're not an entrepreneur, please don't register. And if you're not an investor, please don't register, because we're going to have a very serious conversation about the direction our country is going in and what we might be able to do to safeguard our families and our futures. So please register your interest here, register to attend. We'll follow you up with some emails giving you some more information. I want to see you there. I want to see you there in person, and I want us to have that honest, frank, brutal conversation. The UK is in crisis, but you don't have to sink with the ship. All right? So don't just meet me there, beat me there. See you on the 3rd. Hey, family, it's the Business Bishop, and I'm coming to you because I'm concerned. I am deeply concerned about the direction our country is moving in, the impact it's having on our entrepreneurs and investors. So I'm hosting a very special event, a live event, on October the 3rd at the Crown Plaza Hotel, London Docklands. It's an evening event, 7:30 to 9:30. It's a free event. I'm holding it because I am concerned. And I guess if you share that concern when you consider the direction that our country is moving in, and you're concerned about your family and your future, and you're looking for options and alternatives, then I want you to meet me at the Crown Plaza. Now, this event is exclusively for entrepreneurs and investors. So if you're not an entrepreneur, if you're not an investor, this meeting is not for you. But if you are a business owner, a small business owner, a new business owner, a digital nomad, whatever space you're in, this meeting is for you. If you are an investor, this meeting is for you. And we're going to have a very frank, open, and honest discussion about the direction our country is moving in and what we might be able to do to safeguard our families, our finances, and our futures. So, register for the event because the spaces are limited and I don't want you to miss it because you were late to register. Please register for the event using the link below this message. And we will then begin to send you some more emails giving you some more information about what's happening on the night. Don't come hungry because there will be no food. Don't come thirsty, right? Come hungry for understanding or for information. 7:30 to 9:30. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I have a special guest that's going to be joining me on that day to give us some facts, figures, statistics, in terms of what's really happening in the UK compared to other countries. All right. So you don't want to miss it for anything in the world. Don't just meet me there, beat me there. It's Bishop Wayne, a concerned citizen, inviting you to a special conversation about the direction that the UK is going in and the impact it has on entrepreneurs and investors. The UK in crisis. The UK in crisis. I want to see you there. Register and secure your seat and turn up early to make sure that no one else takes your spot. All right. Don't just meet me there. Beat me there.